Hey, brand builders, ready to take your brand to the next level? I'm Dana Ammons, and welcome to the Brand Blueprint. Welcome back to the Brand Blueprint, the show where we break down how real founders build real brands from idea to execution and from traction to scale. I'm your host, Dana Ammons, founder and principal strategist at Value Growth Partners. And today's conversation is one I am genuinely excited about because it sits at the intersection of culture, wellness, and food innovation. My guest today is Patricia Lin, founder and CEO of Scobucha. But know that Scobucha is a brand that is evolving very intentionally. And what I admire the most about Patricia's journey is her discipline. She's testing through farmers markets, she's winning awards, she's earning real customer validation, and now she's entering the phase that so many founders struggle with, which is scaling without breaking the brain or breaking the bank for that. So we're going to talk a lot about that today, and we're going to talk about what it really looks like when you move from small batch success, operational scale, how to think about production, partnerships, capital, and focus without losing the soul of what made the brand special. Patricia, welcome to the Brand Blueprint.
Hello, Dana. Thank you for having me. I'm very pleased to participate in this podcast and share with your community about his kombucha history and the benefits of the fermented food, which is the most important.
No, I love it. And I am looking forward to this conversation. Thank you again for being on the show. And before we jump in, we always start with our rapid fire question and answer segment. And it's an opportunity for our crowd to get to know you better on a personal level. So are you ready to jump into that?
Yes.
All right, great. Let's get started. So, very first question I always ask every guest, and I wouldn't be right if I didn't ask you as well. So let's start with the very first one. Your morning routine. Are you a coffee, tea, or something else person?
Nowadays, back to the kombucha, tea.
So, and tell me, is this something that you are drinking on a every morning basis, similar to how you would drink coffee, or different routine?
Yes, I had to go back because it always started when I have my personal issue with my acid reflux.
Yeah.
And recently came back because I was drinking too much coffee. The problem, the coffee is not the coffee itself. The problem was the cups, the Keurig or Nespresso is the aluminum that in the machine that eliminated toxin. So it came back my acid reflux couple months ago. So my routine now was back to drinking kombucha in the morning. First thing.
Man, okay, so amazing. That's a great point, and we'll talk a little bit about the health benefits, and I'm curious to kind of understand how you even got to the diagnosis to understand what was the cause of your acid reflux coming back. So let's continue down that food and drink line. Favorite spicy food or condiment?
Well, the kimchi.
And now tell me which kimchi, because you got a lot of kimchi fans that are watching this broadcast. They're going to say, well, my mom's kimchi is better than your mom's kimchi. Tell me what about kimchi and why.
Well, I do like spice, but I don't like overwhelm all the food. So as a side dish or just to enhance whatever food I'm eating is the kimchi. Or the kimchi hot sauce is the best because just give additional flavor and enhance so much better and open an appetite actually.
Oh my God. And I can't wait for people to try out the kimchi hot sauce. I actually have an advanced bottle myself, fans. And so I can tell you personally, my bottle is almost gone. I used it on a little bit of everything, including popcorn, which seems to be one of my favorite applications. One ingredient that you absolutely refuse to compromise on. Have to have it. No doubt about it. This is a key ingredient for you.
For Scobucha, it's the SCOBY. No doubt about that. Because the SCOBY, which means the symbiotic culture bacteria yeast, is the main ingredient, the main product to build the tea. So with combining with the tea and the sugar, the scope eats the sugar to build the lactic acid, the yeast that's going to turn into a probiotic and the electrolytes. So
Wow.
it's the most important and benefit ingredient for our company. And I can say, and the kombucha itself, it's my daily beverage and tea that I drink every day that I cannot live without.
We're going to talk a little bit about some of the long-term benefits and what you and your brand are really doing to innovate the way that
Uh,
people actually consume those probiotic ingredients. Because I think that's one of the key things that not a lot of people fully understand. And so I'm going to help you demystify that. But a couple of additional questions before we jump into the interview. So another one that I love to ask a founder like you, who's based a lot of their innovation on food, and yours especially is based on something that I really love, which is tradition, family traditions, and family recipes. So, outside of the recipes that you have used that have been handed down in your family for kimchi and kombucha, what is your favorite childhood food that you today still have to have every now and then, whether you go buy it from somewhere or you have your mom or somebody make it or you make it yourself?
It's a twist on a little bit like the Korean pancake.
Yeah.
So it's something that my mom still make it and it's delicious. So
And this
it's
is a savory pancake or sweet pancake?
no savory. Yeah.
Right. So what would you normally have it with? And like would you be eating this at lunch or dinner or breakfast or just a snack? Now, last question in the personal segment. If you were not building Scobucha, what would Patricia be doing?
So my background is in the supply chain management. So most like I'll be working in a corporate environment,
Yeah.
supporting the department within sourcing, procurement, logistics, inventory management, anything related to operations as well. So it's interesting. It's very, you get to engage with all the departments within
Yeah.
the company. So that's how it bring you more expertise as related to anything that it needs to build a company.
Well, Patricia, thank you for being kind enough to share some personal information and give us a little insight into who you are as a person. Now let's talk about the brand. Are you ready to get started?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, great. I am so excited to get into this conversation. I am a big foodie, as many people know. I like to try a lot of new foods and a lot of new things. And kombucha and kimchi came into my, call it, culinary world probably 20 plus years ago almost. I had a boss who was from Korea. She was also taking care of her mom. We lived in New York City at the time. I was working for Colgate Palmolive, and she was the one that actually introduced our team to kimchi. She bought authentic kimchi into the office one day. Mom put it in a clay pot, put it, traditionally under their porch. Now they lived in a high rise in New York. So she literally
Mhm.
had to find a place, a cool, dark place for her to put the clay pot until the kimchi fully fermented. But I had never heard of the process. I had never heard of the food and any of it. So I was completely kind of caught off guard with this first experience. And man, I'm a big fan of spicy, but to your point, spicy as an enhancement, not what I call smart ass spicy, which is where you can't taste anything but the spice. And kimchi was to me almost reminiscent of like a good relish or a cha-cha that you would have in the South with like your greens or something like that I grew up with on a soul food side. So I loved it. And from that day forward, I was really into it. It wasn't until probably 5, 6, 7 years later that I found out that there were actually health benefits to the food. Tell me about how you started this journey and what inspired you to create the brand Scobucha.
So it started, like I mentioned before, as a personal issue. So we start making, like my grandfather used to make the raw fermented tea. That we learned it was the kombucha. So because of the traditional medicine did not help to heal my gut,
Yeah.
so the results was immediately positive for me, and it turned into my mission to spread the word. Like started with friends and family members. So in the recipe, as it came from family, it was natural to find other ways of fermented food also to add it on to our products. And kimchi was part of my mom's daily vegetable, the fermented, even fermented through like natural sunlight.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we think about the kimchi, the Napa cabbage, traditional Napa cabbage was perfect to add it. But we did a little bit twist, adding the wrong kombucha within the kimchi itself. So it gives a twist and a special flavor to it. It's tangling, like spicy, and
Yes.
everything vegan, no preservative, everything raw, fermented, no additive added. So it's clean label. So that's how we want to continue doing as family eating health and continue
Mhm.
legacy learning how to like incorporate different dishes as well as my mom cook every day for us. So it's a very like a reward, like possibility to build a company from my mom's recipe. And she
Yeah.
still continue trying to help us like, oh, why do you want to think about doing something else?
And Patricia, tell me a little bit more because you really went deep and understood and studied the science behind kombucha and really developed this SCOBY kind of core right to your product that really is like a difference maker. Can you
Mhm.
explain to the audience again what SCOBY is and then how you first kind of became aware of it and then developed it for your unique product?
Like, because I'm a person that I like a lot of things sustainable and learn about the SCOBY that reproduce every time you make a batch, it reproduces. So it turns into like additional SCOBY on top of it. And that it could be like not even into utilized for the food industry, but also for other industries like the textile. It could be for the beauty industry.
Mhm.
So nothing more than like to discover adding on to different products in the food, like the kimchi. And also we develop like we don't like wasting. So from
Right.
the scope as well and making the kombucha itself with the pulp or the fruit pulp and also with the SCOBY, we can dehydrate it and make fruit leathers. And besides the kimchi, whatever kimchi we have, we can also make the kimchi seasoning and also expand into the kimchi hot sauce. So it is amazing how we can continue evolution of the product to
Yeah.
different products within the food and beverage. Although there's huge possibility also to expand for like a partnership with other industries like the beauty industry, making like toners,
Yep.
soaps that help with the skin as well. So
Yep.
it is proven that the scope itself also is good for the skin, hair, and nail, like for in general beauty.
Wow. Now, as you have started to develop more products in the space, I one thing I have admired about you since I have come into interaction with you and the brand is your dedication to getting consumer feedback. And talk to me a little bit about how you approach product innovation and customer feedback because I know for food-based businesses, it's not the cheapest thing to sample and to experiment and to try out new formulas and flavors because you're trying it out with real product that could
Mhm.
or could not end up working out well, which means you either got to throw that out or find somebody else to eat it, right? Me or somebody in the house that like is, just willing like Mikey to eat anything that you put together. But ultimately, there's a lot of trial and error and there's a lot of experimentation. So talk to me a little bit about how you experimented to come up with kimchi hot sauce and fruit leathers and gummies and all these different ways that you've developed to deliver that SCOBY.
Right. So our proof of concepts are the demos, especially in the farmers market, and connect with the end customers. So that'll be the most important feedback coming from them and see them coming back to buy more and specifically share their experience of feeling better, like after drink the kombucha or the kimchi, especially with the flavors. Sometimes we think about, oh, this is good for your health, but tastes bad. The good thing is that it's good for your health, but it tastes
Yep.
good.
Yep.
So you
Yep.
want
Yep.
more.
Can we hear that again?
So our proof of concepts are the demos, especially in the farmers market, and connect with the end customers. So that'll be the most important feedback coming from them and see them coming back to buy more and specifically share their experience of feeling better, like after drink the kombucha or the kimchi, especially with the flavors. Sometimes we think about, oh, this is good for your health, but tastes bad. The good thing is that it's good for your health, but it tastes
Yep.
good.
Yep.
So you
Yep.
want
Yep.
more.
Yep.
So people come back and sometimes they eat like they buy like in bulk, like 3, 4 and eat it within a week. And it's something that I feel like, wow, that's so nice. And other people like losing weight, they help with the diet as well. So it's amazing. So every person is a different way that can give us some type of benefit, like
Yeah.
not even the probiotic side, but also the energy side. So
Mhm.
the farmers market that we have been at past 3 years, it's prove a concept that we are ready to scale. So people come to us and ask, so where are you guys in? So are you guys in Whole Foods? Are you guys in Publix? Or some people come to say, oh, I saw your products at the Publix. They will feel like, oh, it's my Publix, yeah. So this is more than a proof that people identify specifically with the package as well.
Yep.
So
Yep.
package in the visual concept and it's very important as well. So we have to thank also our designer who is our family
Yep.
member that she has been taking over Scobucha brand since the beginning. And she
I love that.
knows pretty well about colors, like how to reach out customers within the products, and that's amazing how it's very important, the package.
I love this point on 2 points, Patricia, and thank you for sharing that because there's 2 things there that I think can help founders. One
Mhm.
is you early on clearly trusted packaging, marketing, branding to more people than just yourself. You knew it wasn't necessarily an expertise of yours. You had somebody in the family, which is a blessing, that did understand it and did know how to help you out with that. And you were
Mhm.
able to trust them to bring them in. Talk to the audience a little bit about how you even made the decision on who to bring into the business early on and who to trust. You were doing this early. I'm sure
Yeah.
you were probably aware of your cousins, work in the marketing and branding area, but you probably, like a lot of us, we've never seen our family members' real product of their real work at home or, hanging out with them. So everybody's got a cousin that's like, hey man, give me a job or put me on. And sometimes it works out. A lot of times it doesn't. Right. So tell me a
Right.
little bit about that because you unlock something there that I think some founders struggle with. They tend to bring family members and friends in that frankly aren't the best contributor to the business. So what went into your decision process?
That's true. But I think we were very blessed because we were like just trying to think about, oh, let's launch this in the market, but we need a
Mhm.
package. How are you going to
Mhm.
sell? How are you going to
Mhm.
present?
Mhm.
And she's the expert in the marketing. So in reality, we need to have expert people within different areas like finance, quality control, those kind of things
Yep.
to be able to
Yep.
help in the growth.
Yep.
Otherwise, by ourselves, I cannot do it by myself, like just us.
Yep. Whoa. We need to hear that one more time.
So in reality, we need to have expert people within different areas like finance, quality control, those kind of things
Yep.
to be able to
Yep.
help in the growth.
Yep.
Otherwise, by ourselves, I cannot do it by myself, like just us.
Yep.
So so right now we are in that phase that we need support the right people to be able to join the company and help us to grow. And we're looking for actually like production, you teach, you
Mhm.
also for other people, you delegate it. So we need to start like delegating and release those jobs for other people as well and
Yeah.
start giving trust and teaching them the foundation of the company, the mission, and our goals.
That is
So
beautiful.
yeah. So we're looking forward to getting to that phase and hire
Mhm.
new employees to helping us. One thing that we're looking for this quarter for next year is find our own space, which within a warehouse, and to be able to scale our business. Yeah.
That's a beautiful thing. Or take on components of a scale, but before they actually need the scale. You're doing it in a logical fashion. You've gotten traction. You've been in the farmer's market for a couple of years. You're selling products now. You're thinking about
Mhm.
expanding into a warehouse. That actually came after you did some portfolio updating and rationalization. So I want to talk a little bit about that particular pivot because it's another thing that I really love about how you've led this business development and brand development as a founder. And one of the things that I
Mhm.
thought was a super smart move on your part early on was realizing that while your initial hero product was kombucha and it was well liked and well received, that scaling kombucha was going to be probably more difficult, more margin intensive, and more labor intensive than scaling the rest of some of the products that you had developed out in the portfolio, including kimchi. And so, therefore, you have decided, and I think, again, a very smart decision is to pivot your focus from kombucha to some of the more margin friendly items in your overall brand portfolio. Talk a little bit about that, Patricia. Like, what gave you the inspiration to make that analysis and then that pivot? And then how did you finally kind of get to that point? Because it's so hard for founders to let go of their babies, the initial thing that gets them to traction or
Right.
to success. So
Yeah.
how did you make that decision?
So we are blessed also that we focus on both direct to consumer and also retail wholesale.
Mhm.
So we can see the traction as well, like how people are looking for. And I believe that during the COVID, we have been in the business since 2018. So we have seen growing a lot the kombucha from mainstream to decline and getting to big companies like
Mhm.
Coca-Cola, the GTs. So they have a majority of the market share. But then enter the market like during COVID, companies with beverage that says water gasificated with probiotics, the benefits to your gut. But nowadays it has been people have been realized that it's high in sugar, it's not all natural. So kombucha has been steady, like continue the market and has potential still to grow, the fermented food in general. But the kimchi has been from like a specialty product, like pickling or seasonal, to a mainstream product like every
Definitely.
day that people is going to grocery store to purchase.
Yep.
So study has been saying like benchmark reports say that has been growing 42% year over year. And so
Wow.
that's why we are looking for to find a right partner or investors to be able to help us to grow
Yep.
as we have products that we know that we can compete with the big ones in supporting our growth with the new warehouse, with personnel, and with our innovative products that we want to launch as well in the market. That's where we are at the moment. And that's why we chose, we know that we would like to expand kombucha as well, of course. But for the moment, we're looking for the kimchi first. If you have the opportunity to expand the kombucha, definitely we want to go for it. But we want to maintain as a clean label. And it's difficult to find a co-packer that can grow without, like in the process, to use a substitute like live probiotic at the end of
Mhm.
the process. So it's
Yep.
something that we need to find a partner that is aligned with our mission as well. Or we need to be able to have a capacity to take over the production for all our products and continue
Yeah.
growing organically.
No,
So,
it is an amazing growth trajectory that you have laid out for the brand. And based on some amazing data and category dynamics, 42% growth over the last couple of years, year on year, is amazing growth, right? And for the audience, you're talking about categories in food and beverage that on average don't grow more than single digit on a given year, right? I think beverage and specifically soda has been flat to slightly down over the last 4 or 5 years, despite how much Coke and Pepsi and other sodas that you all drink out there. There's still not that much growth in that category. You're talking at the most single digit or high single digit growth. For
right.
a segment of growth in the food category to be growing 40 something percent, is a clear flag and bellwether for a brand to follow that growth. And to your point, kombucha still has a great growth trajectory and an
Mhm.
opportunity to also become a mainstay in the American diet and household. But I
Yeah.
agree with you. Kimchi is probably on a faster trajectory and is
Mhm.
already essentially there in a lot of the grocery aisles. I don't know where I don't see it. I can actually think of places where I don't see kimchi versus where I do see it. Right. And so that to me signals a huge shift. And so I wanted to bring that to the forefront because a lot of founders will struggle sometimes with pivoting from a product that, again, may be the product they initially passionately bought them to create the brand, but unfortunately isn't the brand that the consumer is actually voting for in terms of true dollars. And if you see the
Mhm.
consumer purchasing a product in your portfolio that may not have been or intended to be your hero product, but nevertheless, the customer's buying that one more, and you find out it's got more profit to it and potentially more trajectory or more growth in terms of category, it's probably a good idea to follow Patricia's lead and pivot focus to that. Patricia, something you said there at the end, I want to follow up on that a lot of founders often start thinking about, and that is where in their vertical ecosystem do they start owning versus contracting and partnering? And specifically, product production is one that a lot of founders struggle with. How long do I keep producing this myself, or producing it at home, or producing and sourcing versus working with a 3PL or a contract manufacturer to get this product produced? And then secondly, do I want to start, as I start getting traction and making money, do I want to start owning parts of my overall distribution system, whether that's owning my own warehouse or owning my own production facilities, et cetera? Talk to me,
Mhm.
Patricia, about how you've thought about that whole approach to owning versus contracting and partnering. And at what phase do you see your brand moving from
Right.
contracting to ownership?
Yeah, that's a very challenging question and also decision to make.
Hmm.
So at this point, as we want to grow, like we want to do everything organically and very like like set, like firm, like what we're heading to. So we don't
Hmm.
want to grow like exponentially growth and not be able to continue with the
Hmm.
pace of the demand.
Yeah.
So we want to grow regional to be able to then be able to go nationwide.
Yep.
But if we find the right partner, we would like to have like a co-packer, co-manufacturer to be able to help on that scale.
Yep.
So for now, as we couldn't get in like anyone, kombucha is something that we can continue growing with our own ingredients, like find out hire new people to maintain in-house our
Hmm.
production.
Hmm.
As far as for the kombucha fruit is something that I'm looking for a co-packer to help to scale. And so we can go straight as nationwide because it's also shelf stable product. And for the kimchi, we also need to find a partner who has a 3PL warehouse refrigerator to be able to distribute it like regional and then nationwide. And if we have investor or any partner who gonna join the company, that is gonna be also a decision that's common between the partners of the company, right? And if
Hmm.
someone comes with the expertise in marketing, finance, and product development, it's something that we're gonna take in consideration and have a decision together. So we are pretty much very open, but we know what we don't want it. Like we don't want to move to something that we're gonna do like shortcut to grow
Yep.
and compromise the quality or compromise the clean label. So that's what we don't want to. The rest we are open to also here. It is also from our partners like suppliers in 3PL distributor company as well. Even our suppliers that can help us to grow. We are very open to hear from them as well. And we're looking forward to that phase.
I love that because you are all about partnerships. I mean, everything you do with this brand is about seeking out partnerships with expertise that can support your brand and growth. And the other thing that you've done a really good job of that actually we met through is your use of accelerators and other programs to support your business. You were part of the SeedSpot accelerator earlier this fall, and that's where we met. And you've been involved in some other programs. So talk a little bit about it. Tell founders about how you've been able to leverage some of these programs and accelerators to provide much needed resources for your brand.
Right. I think it's network and it's also a good guidance to see if you are in the right direction. So because be like by yourself, working every day and connect with your own world it's very difficult. So to be able to expand the vision and have other people also mentors specifically like you, it's very important for entrepreneur.
Wow. That was a really important point. Can we hear that again?
Right. I think it's network and it's also a good guidance to see if you are in the right direction. So because be like by yourself, working every day and connect with your own world it's very difficult. So to be able to expand the vision and have other people also mentors specifically like you, it's very important for entrepreneur. It's very important because food and beverage is not my background. So it's necessary to have mentors within the industry or network to be able to like see that and see with other eyes what people think about it and expand your vision of to grow your company. And it's very important because alone you cannot do anything alone.
And tell the listeners a little bit about where you are, because we didn't talk about that at the beginning, but where you are geographically in the country, what part of the country you're in right now, and then what you've also been able to do, which I really love. Again, you are so resourceful. Not just have you reached out and joined, because SeedSpot is a national organization, and so you were able to find SeedSpot, get in that program, but you've also done some things in your local market, in your region. Talk a little bit about that. Tell them where you're from and what you've been able to do locally.
So I'm located in Miami, Fort Lauderdale area. So focus on like mainly those Dade Count, Miami Dade Count, Broward Count, and West Palm Beach. So that's how we want to focus on that movement. And that's how we'll be able to expand our clients in the wholesale accounts, retail, special retail stores that we are. And we're looking for also grocery stores, more like Sprouts, Whole Foods.
Natural grocery.
Yeah, so it's the right target market for us. And nowadays we are focused on also doing demos to those clients, to their clients, so we can engage direct to the consumer and educate them. And that's how we see the conversion rate of sales out right there at the spot. So it's very important to engage with the end customer. And doing the sampling is the best way to conversion sales. And we have been very good experience with that. So and we try to, like Florida, try to also get into more like into network in the food and beverage. But Florida has been changing a lot with programs for entrepreneurs. And I had opportunity to participate with a NSU from the university with the Alan Levin Program Center. They are also focused on startup and tech companies, not specific food and beverage, but all type of companies. And I think it's very important to engage in those networks as well, to be able to meet different entrepreneurs and see what's in the market. And we identify, because the foundation, the base for as entrepreneur to have an idea, to launch the business and to grow, it's most like the base, everything for all the companies. But be able to engage and participate in this program is very important. And I'm very blessed to be able to participate in. And I hope also they increase also in the food and beverage industry instead of just tech. But it's important for the Florida, the states, and to be able to reach nationwide in all type of business. So
no, I love that point, Patricia. You make a great point, and I second that, and will also follow up that plea for more consumer products focused programs or
The
more consumer
CPG.
products
Yeah.
in resources in the startup
Mhm.
industry. As you mentioned, I work with several startups across the country. Most of those startups are using me as a specialist almost because they have so many tech mentors. They don't have any CPG, consumer products, beauty mentors in the space. And I typically
Yeah.
am able to come in and help pick up some of the founders who are feeling a bit disconnected from some of the tech mentorship and the tech resources that they're being supported by in many of these accelerators. There are programs at the county, there are programs at the city level, there are programs at the
Mhm.
university. Almost every market and major city in the country has one, if not all three of those things. You have either a program at your county level, so check your county. You have a program
Mhm.
likely with your city, and that would be the city of Detroit, their small business association, the city of Birmingham, Alabama, the city of Miami, Florida, all have an SBA or a small business association that they usually have some form of support or program similar to SeedSpot. And then at the university and college level, whether you live close to a tech college, a major university, or a private college or institution, they will usually have resources available to business members in the community as well. So make sure you check out
Yeah.
those resources. Now, shifting gears and talking about one final piece of the business before we wrap up the interview, and that is fundraising. And I know you are at the phase now where you're starting to be very intentional about raising funds, what you need those funds for, and exactly how much you need. So if you were talking to a investor right now about your business, Patricia, what for you, what does the right money look like right now for Scobucha's needs? Like what would you need and what would you use it for?
Well, I think the minimum check fundraising to help it up is 25K,
Mhm.
but nothing would. I'll be happy to receive additional, like more than that, like 100K, 200K. Because as we grow, we're gonna need more resource, more money to be able to scale the business.
Mhm.
And so, because the goal is to reach out regional and nationwide and take over at least 10-15% of the market share, which is going to be amazing by 2030. So, with that said, we will need to have like good investors and be able to join Scobucha to grow with us. Therefore, fundraising or is a good like opportunity that I would like to like explore
Mhm.
as soon as we find like the right warehouse so we can like share our story, like how it's gonna be the production side of it, and see if they people want to join the company like this way, or if they have any questions they can connect with me as well, and I could share more details about it, how we plan to expand the company.
Well, I love that initial explanation because, as you said, a lot of brands at this point of their growth are in need of several key pieces of help that across a couple of different areas: manpower, production, packaging, etc. And then ultimately, the goal is not to have somebody come in and just invest in the short term, but to be willing to partner with you and support you over the long term of your growth. So that adds one
Yeah.
more question, which is as you're talking to founders, investors want to know who they're partnering with, right? Who they're getting in the business with. So if you had to describe to an investor, a potential investor, why they should back you and what they would get out of you as a partner if they were to invest in Scobucha, what would you tell them?
Well, we are two sisters. So we combine over 40 years experience. My sister is in sales and
Mhm.
market development and global sale actually. And I am in the global supply chain management. So we are looking for to partner with investors if it is within the CPG industry is better, so you can have a better guidance. We would like to have someone also co-engage with the company, not only, oh, this is the money I'm gonna give you and I'll check with you like in 1 year, 2 years. No. It would be nice to have someone who engaged, who participated, who also direct us, mentor, and help us to grow. and specifically like it's gonna go in stage. I like to go in stages, like
Hmm. Hmm.
organically grow and expand it as we go as well. So it would be nice to have someone who enjoy, understand about the fermented food, and also willing to hands-on with the daily operations and sales, whatever comes to the daily production. But if not, it's something who can be a mentor, like give a good guidance and directions of the company to be able to reach out to everyone's, like having a kimchi or a kombucha in their table nationwide.
I love it. And that is the objective. You don't get one founder, you get two founders with both global sales and global supply chain and logistics experience, which is key to scaling any brand. So, what Patricia and her sister are looking for is obviously a founder and an investor who can come in with complementary skill sets, something that offsets their skill sets, formidable as they are, especially as they also are the product experts around kombucha and kimchi. So if you have a passion for wellness-based products, you are a foodie or somebody interested in a brand that is bringing new and innovative products, and you've got two really cool founders with a lot of skill sets that they also bring to the table, well, you found your investment today.
Your
So
founder.
make sure you reach out to Patricia offline. And now, before we get out of here, Patricia, and wrap up the interview, let's then take this one step further. As you think about, I want to know what your next meaningful milestone is. What do you have planned for 2026, 2027 that you want to share with our audience that will help them understand how you plan and how you see the growth of your brand?
So as soon as we get the warehouse, we're planning to grow the regional, our product line with
Hmm.
the kimchi, and also we want to expand the kombucha within the kombucha on tap. So partner with a wellness club, with a specialty stores, and even restaurants who can offer like no alcohol beverage like mocktail.
Yeah, yeah.
Kombucha pair really well with mocktails, doing nice drinks that can bring additional revenue for the restaurants or bars.
Which is really on
And
trend right now.
people are looking for alcohol substitutes. And it's also benefit for you. It benefit
Yeah.
for the gut. So nothing better than that. And after that, we are looking forward to also introduce our new products, which is the kombucha gummies, and
Mhm.
expand our seasoning as well. So it's something that we can twist with different flavors and different like spiciness, and also looking for partnership with other industry as well. We can support with the kombucha, the raw, to make some beauty products with another company that's already out there. So it's something that we can collaborate it and launch something really good to the market and innovative as well. So this is just the beginning, and there's so many things that we can work with, and we just need resources and to be able to have also the right personnel join our team. And we consider us as like a partner, but like an employee, but need to have like the right person to be able to our side to grow with us as well. So
No, and we definitely are looking forward to not only you finding that right person, but continuing to bring innovative products to the market. I am a big fan and an early fan of the brand. I think I could, probably struggle right now to name what my favorite, SKU is in the lineup, but I have eaten a lot of kimchi vegetables over the last couple of weeks. So I would probably have to say that is probably one of my favorites in your lineup. It is one of the best snacks and one of the most convenient snacks that I've been able to find. I take it outside with me. I've taken it camping. I've taken it on road trips. Man, people are like, man, Dana, where are you getting this from? You're in Arizona. Well, I got the hookup, y'all. Don't worry about it. I got the hookup out here. I'm getting the product under the Underground Kimchi Railroad. But the reality is she has a fantastic portfolio of products. So if you're in South Florida and you can find Patricia at the farmer's market to try our products out, definitely do that. But obviously for most of you, it'll be best for you to go online and buy the products
yes.
directly from her website.
So you can find out within our partners. You can check through our social media, like Scobucha,
Mhm.
and we sell also online. We expanded, start selling also nationwide. And we're looking forward to hear from you. So check it out. Instagram, Facebook, we have X, LinkedIn as well, or
Yep.
check everything on our website. We're looking forward to connect with you. And if you have any questions, just shoot out our email. Like we have info@scobucha.com.
Yep. And we
Thank
will
you very much,
also,
Dan.
for everybody watching, we'll also have Patricia's information in the profile for this actual episode. So if you click at the bottom, you will see a link
Mhm.
to our website. And on that website, there will be a profile for Patricia with all of her key links. So if you didn't catch all of it there and what she just listed, don't fret. Just go to the bottom, check out the bio, and you'll find the link there where you'll be able to catch up with Patricia and buy plenty of Scobucha products for you and your family. So, Patricia, again, I can't tell you how excited I am to have had you on the show today. I am looking forward to a fantastic 2026 for this brand. If nothing more than just the product that I'm probably going to be purchasing all throughout the year, you should do great. I'm projecting 46% growth or more from you in
Yes.
2026. So this has been a really powerful conversation. And it's not just about food or wellness, but about growing with intention. And I really want the founders to take that away. Patricia is a phenomenal founder because she's not stumbling through the dark on this thing, guys. She is out there growing with intention. She is building plans. She's creating innovative products. And most importantly, she's creating partnerships. She is opening up the door to her brand to bring in the right people at the right time so that she can help or they can help scale her brand to success. Patricia, I wanted to mention, shout out the farmers market because I know you've got a good following there and great community.
Yes.
So what is that farmers market that they can find you and when is that farmers market available?
It's located in Hollywood. The name of the farmers market is Yellow Green Farmers Markets. It works permanent during the weekend. So it is a space that entrepreneurs validate their products, and when they are ready to launch, they know that they can do, because it's a market that has been helping a lot of small entrepreneurs starting their business as a proof of concept.
Yeah, shout out to them because there are a lot of organized organizations and businesses around the country that do a great job of supporting small business owners and entrepreneurs. And that's a great example of another one in South Florida. So again, thank you so much for being on the show. I so respect your journey and the fact that you're not rushing to scale. You're doing it intentionally. You want to grow organically. You don't want to grow exponentially and be in a position where you potentially would be out of business just as quick as you were in business. And that is something to be respected and admired. So thank you again, Patricia, for being on the show. And thanks to our fans for tuning in. Remember, the Brand Blueprint, you can find us on all of your major outlets and channels. Anywhere where you get your favorite podcast channel, you can find us. That's Apple Music, YouTube, and Spotify. And don't forget, like, follow, and share this content and this interview with somebody you know who can really benefit from it. Remember, you can find Patricia's information after the show in the link to the bio on the social media postings and also on our YouTube page. We are so happy to bring you a great founder and a great brand in Scobucha, and we are excited to watch them keep growing in 2026. Thanks for watching us and have a good one.
Can I do another shout out for another company?
Yep.
It's the Good Food Foundation. We participated first time in 2022, because it was 1 year before. So we connected with them. We were introduced to them. It's an organization, nonprofit organization, the food and beverage, who they give opportunity for crafters and small business in the food environment to participate in submit their products to the Good Food Foundations, to the judges that are non-disclosed information, who are them. So they evaluated the products through the taste, not through the package or through the ingredient itself. So after that, they threw a trial to see which products are the most voted. And then they connect with the company to see how their productions are done, who the vendors they use, if they have a process that's sustainable, they look local farmers, and they are most like using organic foods, no pesticides. So they value those kind of companies who are aligned with their mission as well.
Yeah.
So first time we connect in 2022. And we were very into the beginning of introducing the kimchi because before we only have kombucha, so we only have like 2 flavors. And the Napa cabbage was one of the finalists,
Mhm.
but we didn't win. But in 2023, we launched the pico cabbage with the kick, which is we used to call sweet and sour with
Mhm.
the kick, but we changed a little bit like a pico cabbage. So that's when we launched in 2003 and we submit and we won for like
Wow.
right on the spot. Like we won, like it was like big shout out for us and for
Yeah.
the flavor that we just like launched it. We did not even have finished the packaging, no?
Wow.
So it was something that was very reward for us because my sister also helped twist a little bit the ingredients to give more like a spiciness. So all the family supported to build the product itself, like with ingredients, with the package, and with the name itself.
Yeah.
So and shout out to our customers because our customers are the one who vote this year again to the pico cabbage with the kick and we won this year after 15 years they have been in the market. So it's very rewarding for us. We're very
Congratulations.
happy.
That is
Yeah.
such a great honor.
Yes, very honored to be able to launch and win and then again this year. So it's
And this is a free service. You just enter to on an annual basis to win this. Is that correct?
yes. 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 And they do now partnership with a SFA and we're looking for to have our first like big trade show because as we participated in the trade show 2003 with the Good Food Awards with the Good Foundation in New York, but we were not prepared to scale as well. But so it was something that we
So you guys are going to go in 2026, you think?
we're planning yet to go. So I'm looking forward. So just didn't want to like talk right now,
Yeah.
like 6
Yep.
months in advance, but we want to make it happen. Yeah.
All right. Well, check back
New
in. You
York.
heard it here first. You will likely
Yes.
see Scobucha out there at the awards this year. But congratulations to them and shout out to them for supporting brands like yours, especially with the win in 2023. That is a really fantastic story.
It's a very important milestone for the company. Thank you very much, Dan. It's a very pleasure to be here with you and participating in this show. And I hope your audience like connect with me as well, like share the experience. I love to talk to everyone and brainstorm new ideas and learn about their story, how they're growing as well. It's very reward for me to learn from them as well.
Hey, and as I said, we are excited to watch you grow. We're excited to keep trying all of those new products. And I encourage the fans that are watching this as well to go out, follow Scobucha, and try some of the products. Order something today because I guarantee you, you will not be disappointed.
No. And let me know where you come from, and we can give you a discount as well.
There we go. You heard it here first, a discount via the Brand Blueprint. Well, thanks again,
Yes.
Patricia, for joining the show. Once again, Brand Blueprint fans, make sure you like, share, and follow our content. And make sure you go out there and share this episode with another founder you know who could use this great advice. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next episode of the Brand Blueprint.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thanks for joining us on the Brand Blueprint journey. Make sure to follow us on all of our social media platforms to stay updated. Watch the full episodes on our YouTube channel for an in-depth experience. Don't forget to subscribe to our website at thebrandblueprint.biz for exclusive content and materials. We're everywhere you need us to be.